going to be walking you through a house that a fellow realtor that was just down the street happened to be somebody that I grew up with. Her dad had previewed this home before me and said, hey, when you go into that home, it's kind of funny because as far as how expensive the house is, there's not a lot of craftsmanship. And I thought, it can't be that bad, right? So today, I'm gonna walk you through a bunch of things, a bunch of little things that maybe you don't see when you're looking at homes, and maybe you want someone to point those things out to you, or maybe your eye will catch it and you'll be like, oh, he's like me, he sees all the details. So I'm gonna walk you through. First, we're gonna start with the kitchen.
One of the first things that I notice in the kitchen is this huge, beautiful island. The problem is that there's a seam running right through the quartz, and you can see that these veins don't continue nicely. I mean, they did a good job somewhat trying to match it up, but the problem is for this nice of a house and this big of a statement piece, I just wish that when they were doing this quartz, probably fabricating it, something broke. They tried to keep everything as closely together as they could, but it's probably like an inch or two off of what the original quartz looked like. All right, and then as we walk over here, you see that this, on the other hand, this quartz is seamless and quite nice. Now, you start looking at these pulls, and especially with something that's a vertical pull like this, it's really going to flash at your eye because these aren't level, these aren't tightly done, and so you're going to see some wonkiness with each pull. Now, when you look at the cabinets and whoever installed the cabinet doors, the problem here is that this reveal looks fairly nice. It's okay, right? It's not great. This door, that reveal's awful. And again, it's going to catch your eye because instead of it being a nice continuous flow of lines with beautifully spaced pulls, it's going to flash at your eye. And all they have to do, by the way, to fix this is you'd go in here on these English or these European hinges, and you just take a screwdriver and slightly adjust the door in order to make the reveal all nice and flat all the way across. Now, if you look at the backsplash, again, not too bad, and they're smart to use the white grout because with a darker grout, you probably have a lot more flashing. You'd probably see a lot more of the mistakes within the tile. But as you see this transitioning from one, the tile to the wood cabinetry, that kind of, there's expansion and contraction that occurs. You're going to get a lot of gaps and cracks. And then as you see over here, you see some tile flashing, right? You see this huge jut out of this tile. And it looks like they tried to fix it or something, but it's probably not level back there on the wall. And so what you need is a nice level backing and then a perfect coat of thin set. This is all difficult, right? This is craftsmanship or it's not. And I would say that there's a lot of lack of craftsmanship in this kitchen. The other thing is, instead of having matching appliances, you got a black appliance with a lot of other stainless steel stuff. Now, we're going to come over here, and again, the cabinets, they have like this little putty, this little white putty that you can use to fill these holes so that they don't flash, and so that this looks like it's nice and flat. So there's a lot of little things, and a lot of little things add up, especially in this house that's almost $900,000. You'd wish that they treated it a little less like what kind of feels like a rental. And then as we walk over here, you see this beam. At least they were smart and cut out the beam up here. A little tricky planning, which is super hard. It's really hard to plan all this stuff when you're trying to formulate a kitchen that you've never been in before. But in this case, they had to notch out the beam. And if you look carefully at the beam, they measured once and cut twice. So there's an additional piece of wood there up at the top. And obviously this beam is just a veneer, right? It may look like a really nice beam, but the closer you get to it, you realize that it's just veneer. And for this nice of a house, that's not a huge deal. Actually, what I'd rather see them do is actually get in the attic, like we did in a recent flip. You get in the attic, you put this beam across, and instead of it being exposed and taking up part of your kitchen cabinets, it's upstairs. You know, it's out of the naked eye. So those are some little issues that I have with this particular kitchen. For a nice kitchen, I'd want it done a little. All right, another thing that you would look at is the barn door. So hopefully, if you walk through this door, you don't close it, because as soon as you do, you'll realize some defects. So the first thing that you'll notice is that right there. So, and that might be a manufacturing defect. The other thing is that when they installed this door, my gut is, and I have to go back and actually research this, but I'm pretty sure that this little stopper thing here, it's not really a stopper, it's a guide. And so that should be probably installed down here at the base. Because right now, otherwise you see this door swinging out, and this little thing keeps it from swinging out. So it kind of looks nice there, but it doesn't serve any functional purpose. And I've done this before too, but it's kind of funny. You've got an outlet here that you're almost never going to be able to access. So fun little tips. It's a good idea to have a barn door. It's just difficult, and this one's a little disappointing. Another thing, as you're going through homes, to be especially aware of, and some homes, especially I know of areas in Moon Valley, areas in Glendale where you have a little bit of a drop down and an obvious sunken in living room or other living area. And in this situation, you've got just an addition. So actually, not long ago, a lady was walking through this house and did not see the step down and almost took out her knees. So look for the step down, and it's going to be especially problematic as you see the grade between the exterior and the interior. You're probably going to see some moisture coming into this house long term. So anytime you're exiting a house, you should step down. You should feel some sort of step down. And in this house, look at this. There's no step down, which feels nice. You think, oh, that's nice, that's different. It's a bad different, because water is going to pool up and it's going to come into this house. Once again, we're in a different added on portion of this home, and yes, this was done before the people that flipped this house. They did this room. You'll see some different sections of the room that step down into it. So one thing that you're going to notice is just that as soon as you step out into this exterior area, once again, you're at grade. And so if there's moisture that pools, probably not going to be a lot because of this particular area is nice and covered. But if there's a driving wind and you get some water, this water is going to come in, it's going to seep into your carpet. So just be careful of the things that are, the exterior areas that are at grade. Once again, not a huge fan of these doors. They're a little, I worry about how much heat is going to come into this house because of just the fact that there's, a lot of gapping happening here. I'm sure that they probably are exterior doors, but they don't feel like exterior doors with a lot of insulation. The other thing, as we move in to this transition strip, check this out. The carpet does not, they did not get that underneath the baseboard, and well, I don't want to mess up the house, but that immediately flashes at me. So this carpet's going to keep on getting worse and worse and worse with not much wear and tear on the house. It'll look like a lot of wear and tear just because things were buttoned up. Especially in Arizona, sometimes it's easy to think that a series of windows was redone, and in this case, it's an old window. The important thing here is it's single pane, so the ability for heat to get in and for you to lose cool air, that can be a little bit of an issue. Not a huge one, but it's worth considering and looking and seeing how many single pane windows do I have in this house,
If it's a big house with a lot of single pane windows, you're going to be just absolutely pouring money down the drain trying to keep your house cool.
One thing to be thoughtful of whenever you're looking at windows, we looked at the single pane. This is a dual pane window, and here it looks like this might just be a dirty window, but when you look closer, you see that there was moisture that got in here between the panes, and so it's almost like little bacteria moved out from the center of the moisture and has created these looking like snowflake bits all over the window. I don't know how you fix that without just taking out the window and putting in a new one that doesn't have any sort of moisture issues, because here moisture is between these two panes and likely will continue to be that way. We're moving from this addition, we're stepping up, and we're going to go check out the bathroom. The bathroom this bathroom is actually decent. The tile in this bathroom is actually pretty decent. You see continuity, a lot of continuity in terms of the flow of the tile. They did a nice job, and my gut is that a different person did this bathroom shower than did the kitchen. Welcome into a much nicer remodel. So come on in, and you're going to see even little things like this door knocker is just level. It is perfect. It's beautiful. All of these handles are level and nicely done. So come on in, and we're going to show you a lot of the finer details that make a very nice house. So one, I would say this is a unique house. You've got this conversational area, this wet bar, beautiful centerpiece of a fireplace, exposed beams, and this is not a veneer, right? You've got exposed beams that have been probably sandblasted or otherwise exposed. It looks like there's been some treatment on them in order to really show off the beauty of the wood, the natural wood. And even that larger beam up top there is multiple layers of wood stacked together, but still is nice. It's not a veneer. So now that we've established that this is a nice house and a nice remodel, let's go look at places like the kitchen and see the finer details that really take it to the next level and provide some sort of continuity that buyers are looking for, and especially those discerning buyers. So the first thing that we're going to look at is just the fact that all of the appliances match. Not only that, these are high-end appliances. They're beautiful, and they match. The color schemes all work together. You see that it's neutral, earthy tones, right? If you look at this island, there's no break, right? There's no transition that occurs, and even this edge here is just beautifully done. All the way along the edge is just gorgeous. This waterfall countertop. Now, if we head over to the floating shelves, again, you think detail matters, and when you see these floating shelves up close, sometimes you wonder, well, was this purposefully done or was this accidental? And here's a fun little fact, or an easy way to find out, was this a design element or was this an issue? So this here, you might say, oh, well, was this purposeful? And I would say, yes, it was, because look on the other edge. The exact same edge on that side is probably measured exactly. This floating shelf is so level and correct. It's very nice. You have nice. Even the cover plates are nice and level, and there's no cracking. There's no paint. Obviously, this isn't painted. This is rare. This nice of a continuous transition from the countertop to the backsplash is rare. You do have a seam here, but this seam only really makes sense because otherwise you'd have to have a a continuous piece of quartz all the way across, and this is a huge piece of quartz. So the seam is rightly placed. It looks great. So let's head over to the rest of the living space, the bedrooms, the bathrooms. And on our way, I'm going to show you a simple way to see how good are these people at remodels. Look at this edge. That means that they took caulking on all of these edges and just made it perfect and beautiful. That is true attention to detail. And it's rare. It's truly rare in any sort of remodel that even the baseboards have that little attention to detail. Favorite part of the house is these bathrooms. So I think that you will see tremendous care and design, just crazy design in this bathroom. And so I'm not going to go through every little nook and cranny of this bathroom. We'll leave that to B-roll. But you're going to see the flat, beautiful lines in the bathroom. The shower is going to have flat, beautiful lines all the way across. The edge, I'm looking at it now, and the edge of this bath is just immaculate. And so, yes, it has been well cared for. Okay, let's go check out the other bathroom. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. So, number one, the fans are cool. I don't know that I've seen one of those I just don't know that I've seen that particular model. And when you look at this bathroom, you're going to realize, yeah, you haven't seen a lot that's in here as well. So pay special attention to the edge around the tile work is just, I don't know that I've seen it. So the edge is just gorgeous around the tile work, and it really makes that tile pop. And then you look at the grout lines, they're clean. You look at the spacing, everything's level and tight, and that's what you're looking for. How many levels were used in this project? How many times did someone pull out a level? In this project, they did it often. Or they probably used like lasers or something to make sure that everything's just excellent. So go check it out. You're going to love it. All right, so check out this edge, this beautiful wood edge that just elevates. You've got good, nice grout lines, consistent all the way across. It takes a lot of time to get grout to look like that. And you've got this flat, these mirrors were installed very nicely. Everything looks great. And since this house also has a barn door, I want to show you something. Oh, it just flows. It just goes. There's no hiccup. It just closes. Wow, check that out. A barn door that slides open and closed. Okay, you have to see this tile work because it's phenomenal. Very difficult to plan this perfectly, but look at that edge is exactly on. And then once you come in here and look at the actual shower, check out the grout lines that just continue straight through the cut-in for things like your shampoo and soap. It's just very nicely done. So maybe you're someone that really cares about the details, or maybe you don't necessarily care about the details, but you want to work with someone that does know the details and wants to help you navigate the whole buying or selling process so that you take your house from a decent house to a next level house, or you buy the really nice house instead of the house that was kind of flipped and put lipstick on a pig. Give me a call because I'd love to help you out. Been here in the Valley my whole life, so I'd be happy to help you and your family.